Okay, welcome everyone. So today we are going to talk about ReactJS. So for running the ReactJS we need Node.js because we are going to import or some packages by their command npm to complete the React application. So guys, we have to be just let me open and search the Node.js. I guess Node.js is already installed in your laptop. In the first class I already told you have to install this LTS version of the node in your laptop. So right now the Node.js is already installed in my laptop, so I am going to open my terminal to verify that my Node.js is installed or not. So for verifying this Node.js installation part I am going to use node and double dash version. This is the command this is the command where you can see to verify that node is installed in your laptop or not. Okay, right now my node version is 16. Maybe your case your version is 18, but don't worry, there is a few things only change and that thing is not I'm going to not implement in my this workshop, so there is no issue at all. So now node.js is ready guys, so you can create an application very easily by the node.js. So I'm going to use a library called the ReactJS, and ReactJS had providing a command to install the create ReactJS library that you can use directly to create an application. So I am here to see the documentation, and after okay, just one second. Okay, there is a one hyper thing is we are seeing here. Create a new React app. Okay, so this is the like what this is the page where you see the documentation how to create a React app very easily. You have to run this command. Okay, don't worry about the npx is not like different from the npm, but you can be create node.js application multiple way by using yarn and all. So if you already install the node.js which version is greater than 14 and npm version greater than 5.6, so here I'm going to check my npm version.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
सर आज के लेक्चर के रिकॉर्डिंग सर शेयर कर देना सर, एक्चुअली मैं ट्रैवलिंग कर रहा हूँ.
Okay, I am recording the sessions. I will share the content with the Edu-Vitae. They will provide you the recording. Okay, now see. This is the version name 8.11.0 of the npm. Means I am here to validate this condition. So this is the way that you have to be create. Okay. So let me copy this stuff and go to my terminal. So after running this command guys, listen carefully, when you running this command it will be create a folder called my app somewhere in your laptop. So I am going to find a proper directory to create this. So I am going to use to change my directory first, shifting from a user to desktop, and after that I am going in desktop I am going to create a directory, and mk directory is a command. So I'm going to write winter batch. I'm going to write here winter batch, and now again I'm going to shift to winter batch folder. Okay, now winter batch is now empty, so I'm going to just copy this command and run this command here. Okay, and I'm going to use the same folder name my app, and you can change the app name also. So I'm going to change this name is first app or demo app, whatever you can put your name. After running this you have to press enter So they will ask you that need to install this React app. Oh, sorry, needs to install some packages to completing the completing this step. They will ask you. So just press Y or press enter. After pressing the Y or enter, it will be install some necessary package for completing this. If you want to see what package they are going to install, so this is the React DOM, React script, and so on. Just wait for some time. Just 1 second, guys. It is installing actually. Okay, now after the installation part completed, they have you guided that you have to be use. You can use this sub type of command to handle or run the application. First, they told us, please go to that directory that you have created right now. If you're running ls, you see the demo folder is there. So you have to write cd demo app, and then you have to write npm start. But I'm not going to write directly start the npm start here. I'm going to open this folder in a Visual Studio Code. So I'm going to use a shortcut command code, or you can use, or you can open the demo folder by using the this step. Just to go to open folder, I'm repeating it again. Just go to open folder or find your folder demo app, either this. So you can be go that way. So this is your folder. So you see there are multiple files and folder are there, just like node module, public, src, package log.json, package.json. This is number of files are there. So please don't be scared to seeing the lots of file. We are going to use this file to complete our application. So I'm going to explain one by one. Okay, in this classroom. First, let's understand what is the meaning of node module. Because you are using some libraries, guys. So third party library. So your library will be installed in this folder. All the library. Okay. By default, it has been installed this all this library. And this public is your folder where this all base front end file folder and everything is be created here. src folder is very important folder where I'm going to where I'm going to edit this is some css file, js file, and index.js file. There's some other file are there. I'm going to explain one by one. Apart from this is a package dot JSON file. This is important file. Means entire project are controlled by this file. If you see dependencies somewhere, this is dependencies are there. Okay, these dependencies are told us that this library has been installed in my node module. This React user event, React DOM, and so on. Other part like a script is like helping me to add the like what command. When you like a start, it is meaning that this command is help me. Whenever you call the start, it will be call this command. When you pass build, it will call this command. So now I'm going to open my terminal. So the terminal is here, or you can directly open the terminal in the VS Code. So for opening the terminal in the VS Code, you have to go to the terminal and select the new terminal. Cool. This is your terminal. Okay. Make sure that you need to be select either bash or command prompt. You need to select either bash or command prompt. So I am going to select my bash. Okay. Because recently I have updated my math book and they are using JAS file, but the JAS file is not configured yet, so I am going to use bash. So now same, I am going to run this start command. So you need to be run the start by using npm start npm start, and this command is also suggested by this command. So now after running this npm start, they will execute and compile the code and they will give you a link. Just wait for a few seconds. Or also they will directly open this link to your browser. Just wait for a few seconds. And you see your application is ready. Their application is appearing like some information like a logo, or there some text are appearing. So let's edit this file. If you want to edit, you see this screen. They told you app.js file is the primary file. So go to app.js file and you see everything are written in this way. Okay. So now I am going to remove entire page, entire code, and after this you will see page is empty right now. Okay. So how this file and why this is appearing here? If you go to index.js page, there are multiple code are added here, like this way, and you see this is your file, means this is your render file. Okay. I am going to be like just one second, I'm going to explain it. Okay. This is your HTML file under the public, and you see everything is here. If you're writing hello world in this position, you see hello world is appearing on the browser. But React is a single page application, means you don't need to be edit this HTML page to edit the browser effect. You have to be focus on this index.js page, because suppose I am going to here app, so I am going to comment it, and I am going to again I am going to write hello world here, hi world, and see hi world is appearing. So what is happening here? When you run the application, when you open this link localhost 3000, they will trigger this page. They will trigger this page. Just 1 second, guys. I need this. Just 1 second. Hello. Now, when you open this localhost 3000, they will open this file, React app file. Okay. And now when you means React file is what? This is a body in the HTML class. Already explain you everything. Whatever the written on the body, it will be appear on the browser. Sorry guys, it will appear on the browser, but there is three. If you but you see there is only div is one div is available here. That's only connect with ID, and this ID. Just 1 second. Okay, here this ID, and you see that this div is connected with this index.js file. Okay, and you are displaying this root by this render command, and the render command containing hi world, that's why it is displaying hi world. Also guys, there is another file, the name is app, which is connected like this way. App means whatever you write on the app, it will be appearing on this. Right now app is empty, but you cannot directly write HTML code here. Okay, this will return an error because this is a JavaScript file. So for running these things and adding these things, okay, displaying some HTML text, you have to use different way. You have to write the file name, if you have to create a function. So I'm going to create a function by this way. Okay, and you have to return whatever HTML like this. Okay. Okay. Now everything is working well, but it is not. But it is displaying an error because this app is not exported. So you have to write export default, because the one expression is here. So I'm going to use default and app. So now after writing this command, you see hello world is appearing. Okay. Suppose I am going to write hey world, it is displaying the hey world. So this is the way the file is connected and they are sending the data. Suppose I am going to create one more file here and that is called amin.js. Okay, and I am going to create amin function and I am going to return paragraph I am amin, and I'm going to export this file because I'm going to import somewhere export default amin. So now go to the app.js. Suppose I'm going to use this amin, so I need to be import amin from, because you are both in the same directory, so I'm going to use amin. So in generally in the react, please use some uppercase letter instead of lowercase letter. Okay, amin. Now directly write amin like this way. Okay, because amin is added, they are giving an error. Why? Because return statement return only one element and you are returning two elements. So you can fix this like adding a div, making one element and added both the element like this way. And you see hello world and hi amin. Hello world is written in the app and amin is written in this page. So this is the way that you have to be create like a component and use component in a multiple file. Guys, are you able to understand what is happening in last few minutes? Hello.
Yes, sir. Little.
Little. So I'm going to repeat it again. Don't be confused to see the multiple file. If you want to be ignore this HTML file, ignore it. Only suppose that this is the file where the root is connected. And root is nothing, root is the app.js file. Whatever written on the app.js file, it is displaying on the index.html page. And you are connected, you have created one more file, now name is amin.js. Amin adding these things, you have to add a return statement, means something you have to memorize like this code and that code, and this code you have to add on this way, this file like this way. Okay, so this is the way that you have to correct it. So now I'm going to create a basic application uh, in the, okay, one more thing. In the amin.js, this is a file and this is called component. This is called component. Okay, everything is here is a component. Means suppose you are going to see an application, suppose any application like YouTube or maybe Gmail or Google, I guess. Okay, see this page. So you can see there's some navbar is there. So navbar is in a different file, navbar.js. This Google text is written on a different file. This search box is written on a different file. This to button is written on a different file, and footer is written on a different file. So this is a way that you have to create a big application very easily by using their component. So I am going to.
Sir, one question.
Yes, yes, yes.
Sir, suppose all sir move to that page, Google wala. Suppose you are saying that all the buttons and the nav bars are written on different files. So, sir, how it is arranged in that order? For example, like CSS material.
Yeah, good question.
Suppose
okay, now
then how it automatically arrange these?
Let me explain you. Suppose or suppose I have created a file called navbar and navbar is this. Okay, and I'm going to export. Okay, and here I'm going to use a div and adding a style like BGROUND here. Okay, so now if everything is right, okay, see, the first is a navbar is here, so you add navbar in the top part, and after that everything is written on the this part. And suppose you will create it a div, and I'm going to add a style, and then again you are adding the navbar. You see, this is the way that you have to be controlled. So means your writing means your writing means whenever you write your file, you have to understand that how the this component and that component looks like in my final page. So you have to be understand where you have to put the component according to the UI. Clear? Hello?
Sir, once more, sir.
One more question.
Sir, once more, what you just said.
Whatever I done, I repeat it one more time. You want to say that?
Yes.
Okay. What I'm done here, guys. So, suppose this is a navbar. So right now navbar size is too high. Like okay. See, this is a navbar. Navbar are creating in this part. So I don't need to worry about how the look, how the final UI looks like. I am working on this part. I am trying to adding button and everything. I'm going to add here. And after when I complete this, I am going to add this navbar in this final page. The navbar here. If final page looks good, otherwise you have to modify the UI and CSS part. And the same again. Suppose I want to create one more things like I'm going to create a one more page button.js, and I'm going to add const button okay. So I have created a one component. Right now the button is simple. So and okay, and I'm going to use this button in my navbar. Okay, you see the hello world is appearing. When you adding this button, it is also added it here because this is a navbar and this is a navbar. Both are the same component. That's why this is it affect the final UI. And suppose I'm going to add the button on the this page after the hello world. See, one more button is appearing here. So final UI is depending upon this file, final file. Suppose because this file is containing multiple component, and this means you have to design this page that way that you have to be fulfill your UI, and you can break all the pages in a multiple component. Right now people are looking, oh, this is a single page, but but the truth is this is not a single page. This is a one component, this is another component, even this button is in another component. Okay, so you can break this file in a multiple times. But the question is arises, sir, so what's the benefit to breaking the file? Because right now there is only one page, but there is only 100 pages are there, and every page has the same navbar. Every page have the same navbar. Then creating the navbar again and again is not too good. So you have to create one navbar and add this navbar component in every page. What the benefit of this? You have to write less code. Also, your page or website looks more optimized than other application. So I hope this point is clear, guys.
Yes, sir. Yes. Sir, and the styling part you have done in the same JS file, na?
Yes, right now I am telling this. I will explain it slowly how we can use a third party library, and also how can we add the a style CSS file and import the file in this page. So everything I will repeat it slowly. Cool? Clear?
Okay, sir. Fine.
Also I am going to explain this whenever you add the style directly to the JS file, you have to write some different way. They are not supporting normal CSS code. You have to change some text, but yeah, you will be understand very slowly. So now at the end I'm going to create an application. An application is like a weather application that I'm going to create by using the React. So for the creating a weather application, you have to create an account on this on this website. The website name is openweathermap.org. Okay, they are providing data or free data for creating a real-time weather API. So I need to be signed in to get the API. So I have already an account in this website. So I am going to be directly log in this, and they are providing the API. They need an API key. Okay, they are providing the data in a JSON format, and everything I'm going to learn to create this application in this website. Okay, so if you go to the documentation, just one second. Okay, okay, okay. So this is a link. So I'm going to copy this link and open the link in the browser, and I need to be change something like I need to pass the API key, and API key is this. Let me zoom it. Okay, now you see, if you go to the able to see this in the browser, you see this is a link. and I am passing the city name Kolkata. When I pass the Kolkata, they are providing the detail of the Kolkata, like coordinate of the Kolkata, weather information of the Kolkata, and the temperature at Kolkata, how the clouds looks like. If you go to Delhi, and you see this is the Delhi is not a city, Delhi, and you see Delhi has like a weather, temperature, and the cloud 90% cloud are there. Even the wind speed is also providing. There's smoke, धुआं धुआं है पूरा city वो, and so on. Suppose I'm going to add Kashmir or like Srinagar. You see the cloud is there and wind speed is like around this, and description overcast cloud are there, and everything are doing. Even like if you want to see the information of the London, they are also providing the description like 35% of cloud are there, temperature, the country name is Great Britain, city name is London, and they are also sending the coordinate of that country and so on. So guys, this API providing the detail of any company, and this company are providing data in the JSON format. JSON format is nothing. JSON format looks like a JavaScript object, like key and their value, in key and their value. So guys, I am going to use this API to make a very beautiful application in the React. What I am going to create here. Let me explain by that one. So guys, here I am going to explain, I am going to create an application where application contain an input field like input, where I am going to write a city name. So I am going to write Kolkata, and there is a button, and button is like fetch. Whenever I click this fetch, they are going to be the third party server, and they are retrieving the data in the JSON format, and I am going to displaying this data in my website like this. So I am going to create this application by using ReactJS and by using this API. So now I am going to be, before creating this application, we need to learn something. Means we have to understand the event, we have to understand the props part, we have to understand some other API, other functionality of the React application. Then we are going to jump to that application. So I am going to start one by one. Clear? So I am going to remove all the basic stuff. Okay. Now, if everything is ready, the issue is in app.js file. So I am to remove this. Okay. So guys, are you ready? So now the first, because we are going to break the component. Okay. So you have to also understand how to pass the data from one component to other component. So now I'm going to create a basic application. Okay. Here I'm going to create three component. First component, the call content.js or content.js. Second component, I'm going to add a button component. Sorry. button names. Now, before using this button component and all, so I'm going to start the application first. So here I'm going to create an application name is counter application. So what we're going to do here? So I'm going to create a h1 and I'm going to write 0. Okay. And then I'm going to create a paragraph, and I'm inside the paragraph I'm going to add a button. Okay. Button. Here I'm going to add button name is add. I'm going to add one more button, and there is called subtract. Okay. So just 1 second, I need to remove this. Okay. So let me style text align center and margin top 100 or 200 and perfect. Okay. So there is a two button. So also I'm going to add some style property here. Margin 10 and copy this stuff. Okay. Now there one more button is add and the subtract. So my application is whenever I click on the add, this value will change from 0 to 1. Okay. Let me some zoom. Okay. 0 to 1, and whenever I click the subtract, it value will be decreasing by 1. So I am going to create this application. Okay. So how I am going to do that? So in the React application, first you have to create a variable, because this could be the variable. So suppose I am going to write a variable name is counter, and I am going to use 0. So now this is a variable, guys. Listen carefully. This is a variable, and I want to be remove this value to a variable. So this is a HTML file. This is a JavaScript code. So you can easily use this variable in their HTML page like this, using the curly braces and use the counter variable. And you see again the website is same. Now I'm going to 1, it is set to be 1. 2 is set to be 2. Okay. Now guys, listen carefully. Now I'm going to, whenever I click this button, this value should be changed. Guys, are you understanding what is happening here?
Yes, sir.
Now, so I am going to add an event. So if you want to add an event on the button, you have to use the command called onClick. This is a JavaScript function. OnClick need a function. Need a function. So I am going to add a function const add, just like a normal arrow function. Okay, and I'm going to add alert hello world, and go guys, and I'm going to add this function here. Okay, now see what is happening. Now refresh it. Whenever I click on add, it will say hello world alert. Okay. Now this function is what? This function should be change the value of the counter. So now I am going to add counter, new value is the counter plus 1. Are you able to understand this code, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now whenever I change this, it is button, I'm clicking this button, but value is not changed. So I am confirming this, add a console here. I am going to use counter. Now go to the inspect and go to the console. There's some warning are there, but oh sorry, because we are going to create a constant variable, we have to change to the let variable. Okay. So again I'm trying to add. It is working but not changed. So I'm going to refresh it page. Okay. Now whenever I click the add, the value is changing. You see there's 3 is appearing. But it is not updating the UI because this variable is not a state variable. So how to make a state variable in the React.js? So you cannot creating a state variable normally like this way. So you have to create the same variable like this way. You have to use constant and you have to use bracket sign and pass counter. Okay, and you have to add a function called set counter and you have to assign this value with a function. This function is a React function by name is useState. Whenever you click the useState, it will be imported automatically here. And in the useState function need a one argument and the argument is a default value. If you didn't pass anything, it is set to be undefined. But if you pass 0, it's set to be 0. Now 0 is there. Whenever you click, it is changing but not changing the UI, also returning an error. Okay, again is saying that constant HTML value cannot be updated. So what should I do? Instead of writing this, I have to call set counter and pass the updated value. And the updated value is what? +1. Set counter function. Now save it, refresh it. See, add, updated, add, updated, add, updated, add, updated, add, updated. So now I am going to same for the subtract. Sub. And I'm going to add this event is here. Okay. And now here I'm going to use negative of 1. Now refresh it, add, guys, are you able to understand what is happening in this page? And this code looks some prettier. Hello.
Yes, sir.
So are you able to create such type of application by your own code? So see what we are understanding in this page. We are understand that how to create a static state variable by using this use state. Use state is a very function of the React where you have to pass the default argument. And this use state need two things. One is counter and one is set counter, means this function will update that value. Okay, and this is the way that you have to add. I'm adding two function and this function is calling from this on click method. Curly braces is meaning that you are going to add some variable or function. Here curly bracket I am using because this function, if you remove this curly braces, it's supposed to be a normal text. But if you are passing the curly braces, they are supposed to be a variable. And you suppose you are passing some random variable like x x x y z. You can see there's error because this variable is not defined. So you have to focus the right variable. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now. So add one more button. Also, if you want to be add the function directly here, not like creating side function, directly write this way. Call a, add a callback function, add a arrow and add. You can directly add this function here also. And I'm going to use set counter 0. This is a reset function. No. Okay. Whenever I reset, it will reset. Why this error is here? Clear? So I did this function. So you understand till this point. There is any issue to understand?
No, sir.
So are you able to create any kind of application which I created right now? Suppose like calculator and whatever you can create.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now let's understand how to add an input. Right now you have only added counter. So now I'm going to add the input. Okay. In the React, you can add an input like this. Mm-hmm.
Sir, one question.
Yeah, ask it.
So the same app we can also create with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript.
Yes, definitely you can create.
For using this?
But
What's
if
the
you're
reason
creating
using this
that
React
type of
app?
application, it will take too much time. You have to add the ID, you have to control the ID. Means it will need some time, it will need some code, more code. But they are not like you cannot directly like you have to use some scratch code, and they takes too much time to creating simple application. Right now the application is very basic. That's why it looks like, oh, why I'm using the React. But in the coming weeks you are creating very high level of application, and yes, it is possible to this application can be created by the JavaScript, but it will take too much time, multiple days to create that application. To reducing the time, making the code more optimal, we are using the React. That's the reason. Okay.
Yes,
So are you satisfied with this answer?
sir, because I have created more than 4 or 5 apps using this HTML, CSS, and JavaScript.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, definitely, you should be learn JavaScript. You don't ignore JavaScript. JavaScript is very powerful. So now I'm going to add one input field. So input, like I'm going to add input. Same this input. Let me see the browser. This input. Okay. So now I'm creating one more variable and call constant like city name, because I'm going to use creating an application called weather application. So I'm going to use city name and use set city name. Okay, and this function is called user state, and by default I'll pass nothing, so it will set to be undefined. Okay, and okay, so pass a value is, suppose I'm going to pass a value is like India. So here you see India is appearing. Okay, but I'm using this city name instead of this value. So again you have to use curly braces. Again there's some warning is appearing, don't worry about it. Okay, now see, when you're writing, just one second. Okay, okay. See, when you're typing these things, it will not change. It is not changing. It is not changing. So because this is a state variable, and that's why it's not changing. So that's why you have to add a functionality here. This call is on change. Whenever you change something, just one second. Or you have to add this functionality here, const on change. And directly you write this function name is on change. So now every time when I on change, I am going to console hello world. Okay, so refresh it this page. Now I'm going to write, see, hello world is printing again and again, but it's not changing the text. So guys, why? Because when you're typing something, you have to be send this data to update this city name. So that's why I'm going to use add any call name is event, and you have to write set city name getting from event dot target. This is JavaScript code, target dot value, because you are passing the value as a key. So now refresh it, and I passing as it will be updating. Okay, and suppose I am adding one more here, h3 city name, and I'm going to write here city name. See, when I am passing Kolkata, it is also changing this value. Here you see the how to use the input in the ReactJS. You have to add the value. Value should be a static variable like this way by using the user state, and then you have to add a change functionality like this, and this is the key. So this is the way that have to be add the event functionality. Okay. So guys, I already teach you to add input, add buttons, add functionality to the button, and add a state variable by using the user state, and so on. After learning this point, are you able to create a calculator? Guys, yes, you have to try. I'm not forcing you. So I'm not giving you difficult tasks, but create a simple application. Or where the application is like only you have to pop, there are two input field you have to add. One input field adding one number, and second input field adding another number. And like I'm telling you, you have to create what? You have to create two input field. One input field is one input field is this. Suppose you have to five, there is a 3, and there is a button. 4 button is there: add, subtract, division and multiplication. Whenever you click on add, it will be add these two number, and the final value is available on some space. Whenever you click on the minus, you have to be subtract these two value, and you will get the final value as a somewhere written on somewhere, and this is it. You have to create this application. So I will I guess you have to able to create this application. So let's first create a what Mm, React application. Then you have to add this code in the React file, because I'm using only one file. I didn't use this button.js file and content.js file. I will use it later when I explaining one more point about the React. But आज के लिए इतना ही रहने देते हैं. And you have to create a calculator by the next class, and we will complete our application. The application is a weather application by the next class. Okay? Any doubt?
Okay, sir.
So how many people are able to create a calculator? So I'm going to let me close the streaming recording.